So this is a continuation of the study on the genetics of the ABO system. I want to continue from where we stopped in the previous class. So this is a chart, a table that talks about the uh, combinations. I mean, the blood type combinations when it comes to marriage and the possible offsprings, the blood types or the possible offspring of the possible offsprings that will be produced, and the ones that are not possible. So in this case now, we have O marrying O. That means the man is O marrying the woman that is O. Of course, they produce the O type. They produce the O type. I think, let me say something so that we understand this. Now, the ABO blood system is made up of three different alleles. These three different alleles are used to construct the genotype. Six different genotypes. This is B resulting to blood type B. And this is I, blood type A. This is A. This is B, I, resulting to blood type B. Then we have this AB. We have AB. We have AB. Then we have O. So these are the three different alleles, and from these three different alleles, we can now have the six different genotypes. The six different genotypes. So the implication is that somebody who is A, marrying another person who is A, can also produce an offspring or a child which is O. The reason is because if you look at this, a parent usually contributes one allele during combination. So if this is a man, and of course this is the woman, then this man can contribute the I allele, and this woman can contribute the I allele, and this I plus I will now give you the blood type 0. Because looking at this construction, and this is I, this is I, and this is I, and when the two alleles come together, they result to the formation of the O blood type. And the person with blood type A, or the woman here, is, even though phenotypically the person's blood type is A, but genotypically is carrying that I. The I is usually recessive, whereas the A is dominant, and that is why it suppresses the expression of the I, and you likely see, or you see the blood type A phenotypically, or when you do a blood test. So that is how uh, one can produce children with blood type O. So when you marry and your child is O and you're A and your wife is A, or even when you're A and your wife is B, it's still possible that you still produce blood type O. You can see it here. This is O. This is A and B, like I just mentioned now. Then CO, because the same way this B is carrying I, A is also carrying I. So if there's a combination of this I from B and that of A, then the blood type O is formed. Okay, so O and A, of course, will produce O and A. We produce O, we also produce A, but cannot produce B and cannot produce AB. And I've told you why this can happen. Why O and A can even produce O. Because this O is double I plus I in this. So if these two goes into combination, one I from the pair of I plus the I in A, of course, it can now result to O blood type. Then O and AB. O and AB cannot produce O. The reason is because a parent, a parent that so a parent that is AB can only donate A allele or B allele. And if this person donates the O allele, this is the man. If the woman donates the O allele, then A suppresses the expression of this I, or B suppresses the expression of this I. So at the end, discover that the person can either have this A allele or B allele. So the blood type can either be A or B. It can never be AB and it can never be O. Then coming to A and A, I just explained that A and A can bring about O, can also bring about A, but cannot produce B and cannot produce AB. Then A and B, I just explained that. So there is no, for A and B produces the four blood types. A and B can produce the four blood types. And I've explained that. All right. So we'll quickly look at the MN system. The MN system. Another, though not popular, a blood system is the one we call the MN system. So individuals under group N can donate blood to individuals with B with M can donate to N, and individuals with N can donate to M, but M cannot donate to MN, and N cannot donate to MN. So that is basically that for MN blood system. Then they have what they call the Rhesus factor. The Rhesus factor. Rhesus factor. This Rhesus factor, was discovered in the Rhesus monkey many years ago. It was discovered that individuals have a special kind of antigen that is found on the surface of the red blood cell, and this antigen, when found in a person's blood type, is called, the person will not be said to be positive, but when it is not found, the person is negative. And it's important that intending couples learn about their rhesus factor, because it has a role to play if the child, or if the, especially the second child, will survive or not. Let's assume that the wife is negative, and if this wife that is negative marries a man that is positive, then what will happen is that the and let's assume that the man is homozygously positive. So that means that all the offsprings will now be positive. And when the offsprings are positive, there is a kind of fight between the antibodies of the mother and the antigen of the fetus. Because before delivery, there is a kind of mixture of fetal blood and maternal blood. And once that blood mixes, then this fight ensues between the antibodies of the mother and the antigen, the positive antigen. This is the negative. Remember, because the mom does not have it, the mom is negative. So, but because of how fast the child comes out, you know the reaction, the hemolytic disease does not really occur within, when I mean during the period of giving birth to the first child. It does not really occur, but then the mom becomes immunized. That means that she's now equipped with these positive antigens, and it remains in her bloodstream until when next she conceives again and is about to give birth. When that blood misses, then there will be a kind of reaction or a fight between her antibodies and the antigen of the fetus. And once this fight ensues, it results to a hemolytic disease that is called erythroblastosis fetalis. Erythroblastosis fetalis. Erythro is red blood cell, blastosis, blasting, breaking, fetalis, fetus. So there's a kind of breaking of the red blood cell, a kind of blasting of the red blood cell of the fetus, and this can result to the death of such a child. And like I said, second child, and if nothing is done, then other subsequent children will also be involved in this hemolytic disease. So that is it about the rhesus factor. Then the last one, or the last thing I want to consider, I want to look at is histocompatibility gene. Histo histocompatibility gene. So these are genes that are found in the body, and the function of this gene, I think they are found in chromosome 6. The function of this gene is to help to reject or tolerate a tissue and organ transplant. You know, people that are related can easily transplant tissues and organs to their relatives, but people who are not related, may find it difficult because of the rejection that the immune system mounts on this transplant. So this gene that either accepts or rejects tissue and organ transplant is are two or have two genes made up of 12 different alleles. It's called the HLA gene. The HLA gene. HLA histocompatibility leukocyte antigen. Histocompatibility. That is the HLA gene. HLA gene is made up of two different genes, or let me say HLA system. HLA system is made up of two different genes and 12 alleles. So somebody will not ask, is it not possible for somebody who is not related to another person to transplant an organ? It's possible. So, but what happens is that they kind of inject the individual with what we call they kind of inject the individual with what we call immunosuppressive drugs. Immunosuppressive drugs. So this immunosuppressive drugs has a way of suppressing the immune system of the host. And once the immune system of the host is suppressed, then of course the individual can now be given uh, the organ, or the transplant can now hold, because the immune system that fights this foreign uh, organ has been suppressed. But there's an implication. The implication is that the important immune system are part of the immune system that is suppressed, and it can, of course, open the person's body to opportunistic infection. And that is why it's still not advisable to do that. Okay, I think this is how far we can go. Next time we continue with other aspects of this course. Thank you for being part of this class, and share to others that will need it. Thank you.